Are we live? I do believe so.
Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Tenant Talk Tuesday. Thank you for being here with us, everyone, on this beautiful Tuesday. My name is Patricia Mendoza. I'm the statewide organizer, online to offline. And with me, I have my beautiful colleague. You want to present yourself, Adrian?
Sure. Adrienne Roy, statewide online to offline lead organizer. And we're super excited to be back because, as you all know, there's a lot going on these days. And so, yeah, that's me.
Yes, thank you, Adrian. Yes, like Adrian said, in fact, there is a lot going on, and a lot of people want questions, and hopefully, we can, give them a little bit of reassurance here on Tenant Talk Tuesday today. But first of all, I just want to say, I don't know, Adrian, I'm in San Diego, and the weather here is just marvelous. Thank God.
Fantastical. Yes. Yeah, up here in Los Angeles, it's the same. I think it's one of the reasons why we stay here, because as sure as heck isn't the rent. Speaking of,
No.
as many of y'all know, everyone was impacted by COVID, yeah? And one of the ways that our both state and federal government tried to help was by creating a program called Emergency Rent Assistance Program. And yes, it exists. And yes, we do have resources, but those resources are coming to an end. And one of the things we really want to stress is that March 31st is the last that you can apply. And so we want to make sure that far and wide folks hear how important it is to apply before March 31st. So on that note, Patty, how does someone, if they haven't started the process, just kind of walk us through what that application process looks like?
Well, I mean, we can't stress it enough. People, yes, please, my people, please apply so you can get back debt rent free, and worry free. I mean, get that, that big old heavy rock off of your weight, weight off of your shoulders and just apply. But one of the main things is go to HousingIsKey.com. If you can, someone could put that on the chat. If they can go to HousingIsKey.com, and where to begin is it'll pop up to where you have a little map. It's going to ask you your zip code, and from there you punch in your zip code, and it'll tell you if you belong to a local state program. I mean, a local program, or if you belong to the state program, and then that's where you don't get confused, because you punch in your zip code, and it'll tell you if you belong to a local program or the actual statewide Housing is Key program. So that's one of the main things. Then you fill out, there's 5 questions to be eligible. Real easy questions. If you're a tenant, how much income, how many people in the household, just 5 questions. And after that, they'll send you a link. They'll email you saying, hey, thanks for applying. Here's where you start your application process. So we can't enforce it enough, we can't stress it enough. We just apply. If you really need back rent paid, please apply to HousingIsKey.com. And like I said, it'll tell you if you belong to a local program or the state program. So, and with
So
that
the
being
key is,
said, go ahead, Adrian.
I was going to say, so the key is they have to go to HousingIsKey.com first, and then it'll tell them if they're going to go through the state or they're going to go through their local municipality or city.
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
cool.
And with that being said, well, now, a lot of people are asking, is there anything a tenant can do, right? I think that's what they were asking, Adrian.
Right. So someone said, so once they apply, that's great. But what happens if they're denied? Like, is there an appeal process?
There is. Luckily, everyone's entitled to an appeal process. A lot of people we have been getting a lot of, people that are worried, people that their applications are just stuck in the middle of nothing, right? So I've been getting a lot of calls. And what we do is we tell them there's 2 ways to always check your application. There's 2 ways to always, make sure, check your emails. If they're not in our contacts, that email will directly go to spam. So if Housing is Key emails you something, it'll go
Mm.
directly to your spam folder if they're not in your contacts. So a lot of people get scared because, oh my God, I haven't checked it. Oh my God, I haven't received anything. But please remember, you can always call the phone number, the Housing is Key phone number. It's 1-833-430-2122. And there you can ask them, hey, what's the status of my application? Make sure you have your application number ready. And also, when you get denied, you get an appeal, you get an email. You get an email saying you were denied. And at the bottom of the email, it says you can appeal it by emailing to this email address. So appeal it. Please appeal it. If you need assistance with that, join an organization, join ACE, because we can help you. We can help you appeal it if your application meets all the necessities. If it meets all the things that they want. Maybe you forgot to turn in a paper. Maybe you forgot to put in the income, things like that will stop the process of your application. So please apply, call. Don't ever think that because your application's in, that's it, somebody's going to call you. No. You need to keep checking on your application.
And would that also exist if they made an error? So like if you made a mistake, like you forgot to, like, you added up something incorrectly, what would you call that hotline as well?
You can always call the hotline, always
Mm-hmm.
call the hotline. Some people, I've been getting calls that some people's emails are stuck, like they can't get into the application anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not that their emails are stuck, but that the application is locked.
Right,
So,
right.
and that fact, they should call in and make sure the application is in, is submitted. The main thing is that you should submit the application, because if it's not submitted, then it's just stuck in limbo. So you can always call the 833-430-2122 and ask them, hey, I can't get into my application.
Mm-hmm.
You can always get into your, like I said, there's another way you can always get in. You don't have to call a number. Just you know your email, you know your password, and you punch, you log in. Like if you're checking the status, and on the bottom it should say the status of your application, if it's still processing, if it's still pending, if it needs a case manager to pick it up. Those are mainly the things that it should say. But other than
Okay.
that, yes, please call. Don't expect for them to do all the work for you. Remember, if you have to be behind your application, and ask, hey, what's going on? I filled it out in
Mm-hmm.
August. What's the status? So yes,
Right.
it's very important.
Stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. Okay, so that begs the next question. So now we know that there's a cliff. We can know March 31st is coming. Now we've applied, we've like changed all the stuff. But here's the problem. We're finding out, and it's been folks have been talking to us about how they've applied already, but they're still getting pushback or just out and out harassment from their landlord. And now they're concerned about the eviction process starting. What can they do? Do we have? I mean, I know we have a tool at ACE, but where would we suggest folks go next?
Adrian, every Thursday, we used to have this every month, but every Thursday we do have a Defend Your Home workshop, and I do my presentation every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. We do have a legal team there present, answering questions. If you ask a professional, you want a professional answer. So you can ask your professional question and get a professional answer. This is absolutely for free. This is every Thursday at 6:30. If people can, if they can drop that on the chat also, that would be great. But it is really good. I know that a lot of people right now, because, of the evictions and people are being harassed, there's other numbers they can call, and maybe you should share that as well.
Sure, most def. So here's where it gets real interesting, because at the end of the day, the reason we have these resources is because ACE and other organizations have been working really hard to make sure that Californians get their needs met during COVID. And so, while while 18 months is helpful, there are folks that are still being impacted, right? They still may not have a job. That gig may not pay as well. We've all seen the videos of folks, you know, not being the nicest to their neighbors, shall we say, in a church way. And so, what we want to do is we actually want to ask for an extension. In fact, let's just call it what it is. We want to demand an extension to that. If I understand correctly, there's almost 366,000 families in need. And when I hear families, I hear children. And if you're not moved by the fact that children are going to be impacted, and not just in the moment. I don't know about y'all, but I have someone very close to me who still deals with food insecurity because of their experience as a child. So we want to demand an extension because we know that there are Californians out there that are still in need, and many of those Californians are children. And if we're not going to help the children, listen, I don't know. That's our job. So listen, what I would suggest is this: give our Governor Newsom, a call. His number is 916-445-2841. Just give him a ring-a-ding-ding and let him know that, you're one of those Californians that are still in need. We've got a great state here with a fantastic surplus. So it's not that the resources aren't available. We just have to make our voice heard. Right. You can also go to Find Your Representatives. It's a link, findyourrep.legislator.cal.gov, and you can actually plug in some info and then find out who represents you and then give them a ring-a-ding-ding. But here's another thing that we have, which I'm super excited about. We have a program, an app, if you will, as the kids say, that includes all of that. So if you go to aceaction.org extend wrap, that you can actually send an email, you can make a phone call, as well as tweet, not only to the governor, but to the heads of both houses, Rendon and Atkins. And of course, the people that work with them, which is super important because we want to make sure that they get the message. So there are a lot of ways to reach out to the people that are doing the work to either improve the process or improve the system or change the system. And so I would encourage that. Now, on the other hand, we have some more tools that are available for folks that are still like in the moment, right? Patty, you want to talk about those resources?
Sure. We do have, it's called a Tenant Toolkit. And you can find anything right there. The Tenant Toolkit is for people that are already with a 60-day notice or a 30-day notice. If they need to fill this out so it can help them get somebody to help them not represent them, but help them fill out the paperwork in court so they can be ready with a respond. Sometimes it's a 5-day, sometimes it's a 3-day response that they need. So that toolkit will definitely help people with that. And the other one is, if they need help, if they need an attorney in their area, it's always good to seek legal representation. I know that most of the time, and I know it's hard because, if it was to happen to me, I don't have money to, fork up for an attorney. We barely make ends meet, right? So I know that it's www.lawhelpca.org. And that's a really good, find somebody in your area. And that could be anything from evictions to harassment to, anything. You just look it up. It's a really good web link. It's a really good link. It'll give you a lot of information. But going back to, letting our representatives, our elective officials know that, hey, remember, it's voting year, don't forget that,
Oops.
Make sure that your people, all, us, the constituents, are good, are safe in their homes. We still, it hurts my heart, Adrian, because I hear this from everyone that calls, everyone that tells me I'm scared. I have kids. I'm in the same boat. I understand them. I know exactly how they feel. So we need to do better. We not we, but Mr. Governor Newsom, Miss Tony Atkins, they need to do better. These are children, these are families, and like they say, there's 366,000 families that still haven't gotten, processed, and they're thinking about this process is not gonna probably their process will probably be in November during Thanksgiving. So
Mm,
what help did they get if they haven't gotten the rental assistance, but they're getting kicked out in April? By Thanksgiving, where are these people going to be? And that's what hurts my heart. These are children, these are families. If this pandemic would have never hit us, maybe we'd still be facing high rents, but a lot of these evictions wouldn't be happening right now. So
right.
they need to fix this and they need to do better. So we need to continue to fight. We need to continue to call. We need to
Hmm.
continue to flood their messages with these calls. Let them
Mm,
know that our low income communities are suffering, and we need this more than ever right now. If
right.
they sign this into law, this is a law. This is something that is given to the people that need help. Then they need to finish what they started. This
Right.
is not finished, so they need to finish it.
That's correct. And in fact, I think, you raise a really good point, which is, you know, they in essence work for us. And so one of the reasons we gave these tools, or we're offering these tools, is because I think a lot of folks, and I remember meeting you the first time, you talked about how you gained your power back. And I think that folks just don't realize how powerful they are, right? They don't realize that they have a voice. But one of the things that we know, not only at ACE but in other community organizations, is that when we combine our voices, we have quite the impact. And in fact, I would argue that one of the reasons why, and actually I don't have to argue because it's true, one of the reasons why we got this resource to begin with is because ACE spearheaded that fight, right? And
Right.
so the work doesn't end when March 31st comes. We're doing this because we want to make sure that folks know, but the work still continues, because it's not just housing, y'all. There's so many other issues that we are. Oh, Jiminy Christmas, lost my train of thought. That we need to continue fighting for. And so I just wanted to make sure I mentioned, because I think we're running out of time here. The first Saturday, help me out, Penny. The first Saturday
Yeah.
of every month, we have a Housing Justice League meeting. And what I dig about this is that we bring folks together from all across the state to talk about the issues that are going on, not only statewide, right, but what's happening locally. And then what happens is we realize what's happening in Richmond is happening in Escondido, is happening in, give me a city in Central Valley, Fresno. There we go. It's
Yes.
happening all over, right? So we want to encourage folks within the sound of our voices to join us at our next Housing Justice League meeting, which will be on April 3rd. 3rd, not 5th, 3rd, yes. And join us
At
to
10
see
a.m.
what, say again?
At
Oh,
10
yes, the
a.m.
time. That's super important. What time? Just show up on Saturday at 10 a.m. And then you will join us and we'll continue to learn, excuse me, any new updates that we get, excuse me, on the rent relief, but also what are we going to do to keep pushing this fight forward to make sure that every Californian, regardless of age, gender, race, creed, blase, blase, boo, that every Californian is provided the resources they need in a state with a surplus budget. So, well, I feel like I've been talking for a while. Let me stop talking here. No, but I do want to. I know, Patty, you want to talk about. Oh, this is what it is. So, if folks have an issue, or they just want to get in contact with us about anything, what would you suggest?
I would suggest that they email us right away.
Okay.
They can always email me. My email is pmendoza@calorganize.org. And then your email. Just email us, email us what's the situation. uh, get involved with ACE, join the organization, so you see that we are doing our best to help everyone, because if
Mhm.
we started this, we want it to be finished.
Mm,
We cannot start something and just say, oh, that's it, it's over, it stopped. No, if you started something, we need to end it, and end it correctly, and that's what we want to do. But how can we stop something in the middle of processing applications still that are not going to be processed until Thanksgiving? That's something that doesn't click. It doesn't chain up with my thoughts. So I'm thinking,
right.
what do we need to do? We need to hold these elective officials accountable and say, hey, we got this money, you started this, now finish it, because a lot of families need this protection and they need it today. you know
Yes.
Landlords have been getting away with this for a long time, even through this pandemic. And I want to stress that the Defend Your Home workshop is not just to talk about tenants rights or whatever, like tenants rights. I want to stress, we talk about tenants rights. It's not just the rental assistance program. It's not just, it's how to defend and exercise your right as a tenant. That's what it is.
That right.
Exercise your right. Stop living in fear. We're paying rent, regardless if it's the ERAP program, the emergency rental assistance program. You're still paying rent, so you deserve that dignity and that respect. So
Yes.
I feel that everyone should, be well informed. We have Tenant Talk Tuesdays I think every other Tuesday, right? Or every 2 weeks on
Yes.
Tuesdays. But
Yes.
there's always something. Please join our Facebook group. There's always something that you can be well informed about. If you need me, if you need Adrian, we're here for you. We're here to help. Um, you matter to us. It's important to us
Yes.
that you and your family stay home, stay blessed, and stay safe.
Yes. 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 Lastly, God, I don't want to follow that because it's so beautiful. We just want to make sure that folks know. Please text organize or organizar. I'm working on my Spanish, y'all. Organize your to 85802. And so that will plug you into ACE as well. So there's just a whole bunch of different ways that you can engage with us. Defend Your Home Workshop, the Housing Justice League, and of course, texting to 85802. Organize or organizer, and we can make sure that we can plug you into the right programs. I don't know. I feel like did we talk really that much? Are we almost done here?
Time, yeah, time is of the essence, right?
Time is
So
of the essence.
we just want to stress, we can't stress it enough. I see some Maria Flores on the chat. She says she's tried. See, when she punches in her logs, tries to log in, it won't let her. Um, if Maria Flores, if you're watching this, please email me or call me. I believe she has my number already. Please comunícate conmigo, and communicate with me, and we can get you. I can get you going. Thank you so much.
Thank you
I
very
don't
much.
know. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. It was good being here with you. I just pray, that everyone stays safe. Don't forget to call, our elected officials, Governor Newsom, Tony Atkins, and I think it's Rendon, right?
Yes, Anthony Rendon. Uh-huh.
Anthony Rendon, and let them know. Flood their phones, flood their machines with phone calls from us. Hey, I'm a member of ACE, or hey, I'm a member of ACE. I still haven't gotten my rental relief debt paid, and I'm getting a 30-day eviction. Let them know what we're going through, because sometimes they don't know what's going on if we don't let them know. So always use your voice, reach out, please share. If anyone is struggling, we are here for you. You're not alone. There's some of us still going through this process as well. So thank you so much again, Adrian. Thank you for being here.
Yes, yes,
um
samesies.
Goodbye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
Thank you so
Party
much.
people.
We'll
Uh-huh.
see you on the next Tenant Talk Tuesday.